Joining us now in Studio B, a man who overlooks no opponent, especially when he's going for a record win, the men's tennis coach, Brad Pearce, with us. Coach, it's good to have you back in Studio B.
Great to be with you guys. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, so hosting New Mexico Friday and then San Francisco Saturday, it's fun to always go back and play an old conference foe, right? New Mexico. So what kind of angst is there with New Mexico coming to face BYU?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have what we call our regional rival matches, and that's teams like New Mexico. Of course, Utah is the biggest one of those, and Boise State, UNLV. So we like to keep all of those old conference foes on our schedule. So they're all good teams and they're all tough matches. We used to call New Mexico a friendly rivalry. They had a change of coaches. And, man, it was a really tough situation for us at their place last year. It was not a friendly rivalry. But, we have a good crowd support, but, our fans are nice. And but we hope to be very competitive and put on a good show.
What happened at New Mexico last year?
It's not worth talking about. You just say, when the alcohol starts flowing, with the fans, bad things happen. So it was just, it was not a pleasant.
Listen, we need a response for BYU in Provo, okay? We need The Rock. We need BYU sports leaders to show up and support their team.
Yeah.
You can be super loud.
Yeah.
Let them know that you're there to support them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what am I doing at a tennis match in Albuquerque with liquor and BYU? Anyway, yeah, fun.
Anyway, enough said there.
That sounds like a fun story. There are things like free pizza and Tanner Mangum signing autograph. How'd that go last weekend?
We didn't get the outcome, of course, that we were hoping for, but it was an awesome experience, not only for anybody that was on the court playing as a collegiate tennis player and the fans alike. I mean, that's, to me, is what college tennis should be all about. It should be fun and exciting, and you should have the pageantry that you have in the big sports. I mean, we had the cheerleaders, Cosmo, we had VIPs doing ceremonial guest coin tosses. I mean, it was just an awesome experience. And some people came after and said, "Oh man, when the fight song came on and the cheerleaders were doing their dance, I had chills. I had goosebumps on my arms." So
awesome.
That's awesome.
It was just awesome for everybody. Didn't get the outcome, but I guess we got the consolation prize and put it on a good show.
A great atmosphere for sure. Brad Pearce, BYU men's tennis coach, with us. And let us be one of many to congratulate you on how much success you have had. 203 wins. Of course, 204 carries significance because that would make you the greatest, and passing BYU Hall of Famer Wayne Pearce, your dad. What goes through your mind when you think about achieving that mark?
Well, first of all, it's not really something I've been keeping track of at all. In fact, we were on the plane headed out to play Harvard and Cornell in Boston, a couple of weeks ago, and on the plane ride, I think it was Aiden, who's kind of the stats guy on our team, said, "Coach, I don't know if you know this, but you're going after your 200th win." And I was like, I had no idea. It's not something that is very relevant to me. What I'm after and what I preach, in terms of our culture and our program is from team success comes individual success. And for what I'm trying to accomplish is all about the team doing well, and I guess, and from that, individuals can have their successes as well. And I guess I'm a part of that because I guess this is an individual success as a coach, but, it's not something that, something I've really been striving for. And I guess it's a great stat. And I'm glad that others, think highly of it. In terms of, the program and the legacy, there have been a lot of great coaches, before me, starting with my dad and Larry Hall and Coach Osborne, and before my dad, Buck Dixon. So, it came up the other day and it kind of caught me by surprise with my dad's record. And, I got a little emotional about it. Like I am now. I can't avoid it. He's just such a great man, a great person. He was a great father. and just an incredible coach, and you know, to even be talked about in the same light of what he accomplished here is more than I could have ever hoped for. So that's how much respect, you know, that I have for him and you know, the legacy that he built here. So I guess it's just very humbling.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about BYU is that there are a lot of father, sons, brothers, family involved. When Chaz Ayu committed to BYU, his grandpa was very emotional about it. That meant something, right? And that's the unique part of BYU. You don't have that at every college, right? But BYU seems to have all kinds of family relations with that. Switching gears just a little bit, you're 5-1 at home. You've been really good at home. What is the biggest home court advantage that you guys have at the indoor tennis courts there?
Well, I think it's what we talked about a little bit with the show that we put on. You know, in college tennis, you know, I don't think the coaches around the country have kind of put in the effort that we've done here, you know, to really attract the fans and make sure they have a good experience when they're there. And so teams come in and they freak out because they see more than just their mom or dad and maybe a girlfriend in the stands. So it's, you know, I think they have a little bit of that. And our fans, I don't think they're mean and nasty like sometimes you'd find in other places, but they're loud and they get into it. And, you know, if the opposing team's not prepared for it, it can be very daunting. So I think through the years we've had an extremely good home record.
I'm always fascinated by the player-coach relationship in tennis specifically because it's unique to that sport. It's unlike any other. It's not like you huddle up and you can call timeouts all the time and motivate them. How do you get your players ready so that they can coach themselves in moments when they are struggling and come back and start to play? I mean, is it a look? Is it one word? What do you do?
Yeah, that's a longer you know, answer to a very complex question. But you know, the thing about tennis is, you know, especially in the collegiate format, is it is still an individual sport, but it is played in a team format, so it's an interesting dynamic. And tennis is such a mental game. I mean, it's just you, and that's why I think tennis players in particular develop great resiliency and grit, because they can't rely on, you know, maybe a guy that's playing a little bit better than they are today or tonight, and you know, you can't rely really on anybody else. You have a coach that comes by and offers, you know, a word of counsel and tries to make some observations, but really I think the most important thing is that we try to build and engender the kind of culture that the guys need to learn to stand on their own 2 feet and take responsibility and kind of figure things out for themselves. Of course, you know, we're there. We try to be there at the most important moments during a match when the pressure's really on, and, you know, to help affirm them and get them focused on the right things and off of the wrong things, which, you know, is very important as well. But, you know, there's no pressure. I mean, the pressure in college tennis is so intense because, once again, you have a team score, but it's you alone that's, you know, sometimes the match goes on your shoulders. And, you know, for people that haven't experienced that, you know, a 3-all match score and you're the guy that's either going to win or lose it for your team.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say, oh, no, my teammate blew it, right? It's like, it's on you.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even fathom the kind of pressure that these guys feel at times unless you've actually been there yourself.
Well, you would know a thing or two about pressure, having played in the quarterfinals at Wimbledon against the #1 seed Yvonne Lendl. So obviously that has manifested itself with great success for you in your coaching career. And again, congratulations. I know you're not super focused on that, but we're excited about it. We're aware of it. And that's what we do. We hype it up. We blow it up. So when it happens, and it will, we're going to make a big deal out of that.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it's nice that others are kind of keeping count, but you know, I'm just focused on our match on Friday against New Mexico, and then after that against USF, and you know, on the rest of the season. I'm sure there will come a time when I have a few more grandchildren. I have one grandchild now that, you know, I'll look back, you know, at the appropriate time and you know, it'll maybe have a little bit more relevance to me. But right now, we're just focused on each and every match in the season.
Coach, great to have you with us. We'll give you some BYU Sports Nation karma on your way out, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Brad
Great
Pearce
to be here.
of BYU Men's Tennis.